plaintiff, Amber Cheatham, says she started dating the defendant after meeting online, and she soon learned he was a felon who sold cocaine and marijuana. Amber's suing him today for a bail bond, property, and stolen money. Defendant Tyler Burnett says he met Amber online on a Friday night, and by Saturday morning, she was sending him naked pictures of herself. Tyler insists he and Amber never dated, and they only met up to smoke pot, eat, and have sex. Tyler denies owing Amber for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
All right, well, basically what happened is I met him online and we were just talking for a little while over the internet. We decided to get together and meet. We started a relationship and, we were talking and got to know him a little more. Things started coming out about him. He deals drugs, currently deals marijuana. He had dealt cocaine. He has multiple felonies, and he will literally do anything for money.
Now, how many weeks or months did it take for him to start disclosing those things?
It was in about the first month or so.
And he's saying he currently did those things, or he did them in the past?
The felonies were in the past, and currently, to my knowledge, he's probably still dealing. At that point, was he selling or dealing? At that point, he was dealing marijuana.
Okay.
So, and for me, that's not that big of a deal. I'm a smoker, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But
well, then he wasn't doing anything wrong. Go ahead, sir. You give me some background. He was just trying to tell you his success story, quite frankly. Really, if he used to sell coke and all this other stuff, and now he's not engaged in that type of behavior, he'd overcome it. And yeah, you should have been happy to have a guy who's overcome such obstacles. And Squares can't teach you anything. This guy, he can teach you some things. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, I met her on Tinder. I swiped right on a Friday night. By Saturday morning, she had sent me all of her nudes. By later that Saturday night, she
sent nude pictures.
And then later in that same night, she was at the house performing oral sex. It was a hookup. She was there, ready. I don't even know her like that. We were not in a relationship. We didn't date. We never dated. We just hung out, and she came over to smoke a lot of weed with me. I know her for three things: smoking weed, eating, and having sex.
Okay, and then she said you were involved with coke.
No, we never did any coke.
Well, you sold coke, and you jumping around.
I don't think I did.
Look like you might take a blow or two right now, but it ain't no thing that should be. But you jumping around, sir. You know that. All right, and ma'am, you hear what he said?
Yes, I did.
You do what you want to do, but that sounds much different from the way you describe things.
Yeah.
You sound like you said, well, it took a month before we even kissed, and then it took another month before we touched on each other's hands.
I have proof.
And then it took another month. This man said the next morning you were sitting in Moody's, and that next night you were taking care of business.
I have proof.
No. I do agree that, yes, we did jump into it very quickly. Okay. But he does have a felony for selling coke. So.
No, I do not.
All right, so tell me about the bond and the property and the stolen money.
Okay. Well, the bond, I was going to drive him to court one day. He had failed to appear to one of his court dates for a DUI. And I was going to take him there. He had told me beforehand that he was going to bring $100 just in case he got arrested. All right. We get in the car and I ask him, all right, did you bring the $100 for?
What y'all do? Smoke up all the weed? How the weed man can't come up with $100?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right. He said he had $10.
What'd you sell, a dime pack?
He smoked all my weed.
He had no money.
No, a dollar joint?
He never had money for anything. I paid for everything. I cooked him dinner all the time. Like, I bought everything. I was the one buying everything.
Where was the weed money going?
Got me?
Smoked it.
I smoked it.
You smoked the whole time.
You sold it.
To you.
Because you were dealing it. I may have bought some of it.
A lot. I sold you a lot of weed.
You said you were in the kitchen cooking up?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you just told me?
I was cooking.
Well, then that's where the money went.
I think so.
And that's where the money went. So y'all sell the weed and then go and cook up the other stuff.
I'm
You know
sorry,
the other
sir,
stuff.
like-
That cocaine, go and cook that up. You know I know. Judge's been around much too long for y'all to run this. All right, so you had to get him out of jail.
Yes.
So then what happened? You got him out with the 100?
No, because his bond was $320.
Got it.
So I had to get him out and pay it. He had $10, and then
$320,
yes,
and he agreed to repay you when?
several times actually. He
Okay,
agreed
and
to
then
pay
what
me
about
and meet up
the
with it.
property you're suing about?
The property was my laptop, and I had left it there for him to watch Netflix because he was staying with his friend's mom. He never had an actual place that he was living at. He was always would bounce from places to places, and he didn't give it back to me when everything went down.
When you ask for it, what does he say?
Well, he told me that he would give it back to me whenever I would like.
Okay, what's the
What?
stolen money?
Oh, the money, that would be a game card. It's a PC part for my brother's computer. And I had given him $200 over a money pack card. And I sent it to him.
Giving it to him?
Yes.
You're gonna steal your brother's money and bring it to him?
No, I didn't steal my brother's money.
How you get it?
My brother gave it to me because my brother wants
For what?
to rebuild his
What did he
computer.
give it to you for?
For the part for the PC. Because he wants to build
And
a
did
gaming
you bring it
computer.
back?
I haven't brought it back yet.
And then you stole it?
I didn't steal it, but I'm good for my money, so I will give it to him.
I don't like them in the audience.
I know I'm hearing this
I'm like her. How do you want to respond, sir, to the DUI bail, the laptop, and the game part?
Your Honor, I was in jail. I did not ask her to feed the machine money to get me out. I didn't think that I was going to get arrested that day. Also, as far as the laptop, like she said, it's at my friend's mom's house. I wasn't there. She just left it there. She said, here, that you can have this. I'm just going to leave this with you, like she said, to watch Netflix. I'm like, cool.
What
It didn't
happened
even work.
to
It
it?
is still there at the house, probably, but I don't know because I haven't been there. Like
Where
she
have you
said,
been?
I've been at another girl's house. That's why she's mad in the first place.
No, actually, I'm mad in the first place because you wouldn't
Why do you keep
respond to
shifting
any of
around
my
and
messages.
staying with all these different people, sir? Why aren't you stable?
I am. I currently am.
That's right. I know that's right. That's a good answer. I am. Wherever the next place I stay, I'm stable. That's a good one. All right. And did you agree to pay her any of this?
No, I wrote no contracts, and the bond money, you sign a paper, so when the case is done, they send it back. So that's coming back.
Ma'am?
They told me.
They who?
For the bond
They
money?
whom? Okay.
Yes, the cops. I actually called the police station and asked them about that. And they told me that the bond money, that it would be used for attorneys or the public
Fines,
defenders.
restitution.
Yeah, yeah, it
Various
would be
things
all
they
used
may
for that.
use it for.
Yeah,
May or
correct.
may not, depending on the status of the case. What's the status now?
I currently don't know what the status is
Sir?
of the case. I'm not sure if he showed up to court.
Pending?
Yeah, the status of the case is pending, but it is not a case that has restitution or any fees that would have to be
You
paid.
don't know what's going to happen at the end of it. And it's a DUI?
That's correct.
Oh, yeah, you might get a significant fine. I don't know what you're thinking. This your first one?
It is. Yeah.
What was the rest of them? Crack?
No, Your
I
Honor.
can't ask you a question.
It's for beer.
You're the weed man. I don't know.
No.
What you want? You jumping around. You used to be the coke man.
That night
But I'm
happened to be
giving you a
Modelo.
second chance. I shouldn't say that because I gave you the second chance.
I drank Modelo that night.
All right. And any evidence of anything? Because he sounds convincing. That's how I know you're still crooked. You're too convincing. What do you have?
Yeah, let me find that. Yeah, this shows.
You have
that
anything?
I do.
He has. He told me he would pay me back.
Okay.
Okay.
And-
Get what he has. He's going to hand me something that he has misinterpreted and wants me to believe his interpretation. Telling you now.
All this stuff.
What are you saying? What does this tell me?
She would not leave me alone. She'd become obsessed.
Oh, that's your counter? No,
Yes,
you didn't.
trying to be in a relationship like she said we were, and then changed it. She was very obsessed. I was being hunted down for sex.
Really? Really? You think you're that good, huh?
Oh, well,
No. All I wanted was my money.
That's not
All I
true.
wanted was
That's
my
not
money
true.
and my brother's money.
That's not true. In fact, you say, I'm just saying, I kind of want that right now at work. And you have the tongue hanging out at work. Then you say, I told you. I've been saying. Then she says, geez, now how am I supposed to sleep? Yeah, you're not a crackhead. Crackheads don't do all this love making. She says, you're kind of killing me here with 5 tongues. She said, ugh.
Your Honor.
That's it for me.
Your Honor, may I say something?
I can't go no further. They run me off TV. I mentioned.
May I point something out?
January of 18.
Okay, after he got arrested, that's when everything happened.
Oh,
so that's before, when we were still in that relationship. He is bringing that as evidence.
Oh, right.
So we were still okay, and we were still talking, and we were still technically a thing when that was going on.
And you gave me this. This is 1 month later, February 18th.
Exactly.
So if you want to play this game, you'll lose. This is you telling him. Anything you buy worth anything gets repossessed for the money. I don't want to play. Just calm down and I'll get you squared up. The bond is already coming back to you. You say, you did this to yourself. He says, you can take me to court for bond. Your laptop and the car can be picked up by tomorrow. All right, so you acknowledge that you intended to pay her. Judgment for the plaintiff. Good luck to you. You were pretty good, but I had a little more street in me than you. All right, judgment for the plaintiff, but you're pretty good. Pretty good.
Trying to make me look like a hoe on
You.
you low life. Go your little hoe, take advantage of her too.
Ashley.
Go on Snapchat and talk to that little guy that you talk to getting money from. I'm just happy that it went the way I wanted to, even though he decided to bring up things that don't even matter towards the case at all. Just happy I got my money back.
I don't really care.
Yeah, you care. You know you do.
Plaintiff Penny Pankey says despite the fact that the defendant is 28 years younger, she thought they hit it off. However, Penny now realizes he was nothing more than a tease. Penny suing her former friend for an unpaid loan. Defendant Christopher Angelo says Penny is nothing but a cougar who's upset because she couldn't have him. Christopher claims Penny would take him out, get him drunk, and try to take him back to her home. And he insists Penny only started asking for repayment after he started dating his new girlfriend.
Start with you.
Your Honor, the defendant here has given a whole new meaning to the word tease, okay? Met him at a rock concert in May of 2012. And he was very charming, very sexy. He's kind of got the bad boy look. We hit it off pretty well. The next couple weeks, we'd gone out to drinks.
The bad boys?
Yes, I am. I was.
I hear that a lot from women.
Yeah, I mean, he's 28
To the
years
bad
younger
boy,
than him.
jumps on them, takes their money.
Yes.
All the other things bad guys do.
Bad guys do. Yeah.
So bad guys by definition mean they're not good.
They're sexy. They're sexy, you know?
They can be sexy, but if you're attracted to them, you like them, you date them. You know, it's one thing to watch television, like the kids. They watch the videos, but they shouldn't go out and do what they see on the gangster rap videos.
Lesson
so that's
learned,
my
Your
point
Honor.
about the ladies. Watch it and keep moving. I hope my daughters, they better not come home with no bad goddamn. We like them rough. We're bad. I like roughnecks, Dad. That's why we got him. He carries a gun. He shoots people. He robs people. He sells dope. And that's attractive. That's just sexy. I said, yeah, all right. Don't come to me when he gets locked up and they got you involved as a co-conspirator because he's been keeping the money at the apartment or the drugs at the apartment. Don't come to me when he goes upside your head because you already know what you're getting into and this is your choice. So, all right. Is there some, I'm on this point one last time, then we're going to get back to the loan you're suing the bad boy for. Is there something unique, I'm trying to put this without being lewd, is there something unique about their intimacy, that's a good way to put it, about the intimacy of a bad boy? Because if so, you can just get your good guy and teach him what the bad guy
That's why I got this guy right here.
So you taught him.
That's right.
You taught him how to give you some bad boy intimacy. There you go. That's what. Now that's a good solution.
Yeah.
Find out what the bad boys do that make you like them so much, and then you just get you a square, and you say, hey, I want you to do what this bad boy does. All right. What else?
Well, he's 28 years younger than I am, Your Honor. Okay, so, after the concert, we had some fun, and then nothing sexual, however. Okay, so we met for drinks a few times, and, we just had some fun, flirted around a little bit, and he's a tattoo artist, and went over to his place, and he did a tattoo on my lower back. During that time, his hand kind of slips down over my butt a couple times, and,
That's a lie.
that was kind of, I guess I have to admit I kind of liked it. It gave me the attention that I liked, and so that was done. We went out to dinner on June the 1st, and the defendant decides to ask me for $4,500.
Okay, before we get to the Cougar being beat out of her money by the young man, Cougars, to make sure you got that in mind when you're going to these young men. And you're 20 years older, they're gonna want a couple dollars out of you too. You don't have to pay to play. Go ahead, sir. You tell me your background on this.
Penny is
And how you took the Cougars 4,500. Yes, sir.
Penny's a cougar that couldn't get this cub. And when we met, she would take me out, get me drinks, get me drunk, and want to take me back to her house. And
what did I have to gain from taking you out?
Ma'am. Let him give his testimony.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then when I did her tattoo on her lower back, she just about pulled her pants down for her lower back tattoo. So, it's kept it professional, did the tattoo. I didn't touch her lower end like she said I did, but,
Okay, then, that's the extent of it, pretty much?
Pretty much.
Before we get to the money?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Now, let's get to the loan. What happened? How did he come to ask for the money and the loan, everything else? Go ahead.
Okay, on June 1st, he called me and asked me for dinner, and so we went out to dinner and had a few drinks, and like we had been for a few weeks, and then he asked me for a loan for $4,500 to put his tattoo studio together. Okay? Well, and I said okay. June the 6th, I went to his place with a promissory note, terms, $260 a month, starting on July the 1st and ending, and that's 2012, ending on December of 2013. He agreed to those terms, Your Honor. Okay, signed a promissory note.
Let me give you a little insight.
No.
Bad boys don't keep their word. That's why they call them bad boys. Only good people keep their word.
Learn lessons a little late in life sometimes.
Go ahead. You had a bad boy, and for some reason you thought he'd keep a promise. Go right ahead. He agreed to pay how much?
$260 a month.
All right, and you say you have a note?
Yes, I do.
What'd you do, rip it up? That's what bad boys do. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, and so what happened?
Okay, well, things went well. He made his July payment, and he made his August payment. No problem. Continued to speak and, have a little fun. And August 16th, I met Mr. Baggett, and I started dating him. From then on, I didn't hear anything more from the defendant.
That's a lie.
And I never got another payment from him. He wouldn't return my calls or my emails or texts. Never heard another word. Got
There's a
back in touch with
reason
him
for
in
that.
January of 2013, and he just flat out said, I will not pay anymore. That was it.
Okay.
I really think that he was jealous
No.
because I had found somebody else, and he didn't have a chance. He didn't, I lost in this deal. He won.
So you think that he was interested in being your mate?
Well, I'm thinking that he thought maybe he was going to get further than that with his bad boy attitude.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
look.
saying.
Yeah.
Being your mate. Sleep with
Well,
you,
at least
whatever.
once, yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's not true, Your Honor.
Was this your girlfriend? I'll leave that alone. But she believes you were jealous of the gentleman. You wanted her so much that that's why you stopped paying.
That's not true, Your Honor. So what happened was when we went out for some drinks, and pretty much the conversation started about how I wanted to open up a tattoo shop and everything, and then she's offered to loan me the money to start. And it had been kind of hard for me to refuse. I didn't have the cash to get it going at the time. And at the end of June was when I started dating Mackenzie, my girlfriend. And that's when Penny started texting, really harassing me, trying to get the money out of me. So then what I did is I made the first month payment and the second month payment to try to get her to back off me a little bit. But honestly, it didn't. It kept persisting, so I just stopped paying because we had a verbal agreement that I wouldn't have to start making the payments until the business started making money. Well, the business never really happened, so that's why I felt I didn't really have to make any more payments because...
But you were already delinquent when you determined you weren't going to make any more payments, right?
Right.
Anyone else want to testify? You, sir? You, ma'am? You want to say anything? No?
I just feel.
Stand up.
Oh, sorry, sir.
State your name.
Mackenzie Davis.
You better watch her. She'll take your man from you.
No, she won't.
That's what she
better
thinks.
man right here.
That's what she thinks. Go
Well,
ahead.
Ooh.
in my case, I just feel that she just got really jealous and just, was harassing him and just wanting him
Jealous
to pay.
of?
Of this.
Oh. She knew you were around.
Yes. And she would call late
But for some
nights.
reason, ma'am, you just thought he wanted to leave her for you.
Well, she wasn't around at that time.
Oh, you didn't know she existed?
No, I didn't know she existed.
All
so-
right, but now that you do, you still think he was jealous.
Well, I think that's why he never made any more payments.
Right.
That's
you
right.
knew she had him by that time, though.
No, I did not.
You know today.
I know. Yeah, I know
All
today.
right, so do you still think he was jealous? Now that
No,
you know her
no.
today.
I think he probably planned the whole thing out to get some money.
To scam you?
Yeah,
All
scam.
right, and let me just tell you, I
Yeah.
don't know what else I can do because ladies are walking up to me in church, on the street, whatever. I had this young guy and he took my money. And then all the young guys in my community center in Detroit and all these young guys, it's a real trend to plot and take older women's money.
Obviously.
That's a trend. This thing about cougars, they are searching high and low. That's why you older cougar women who feel that young guys give you some attention so you get flattered. He's gonna give you some attention so he can go in that purse.
I learned
Take it
that.
or leave it. You can think it's you all you want. Oh, no, it's me. He loves me. That girl don't mean nothing to him. He loves me. All right. I'm just trying to, might want to stay in your lane. No, I'm saying in terms of a mature man.
Yes.
He's 28 years younger than you.
Yes.
Now, 5, 6, 10. Maybe not even over what, ladies? 5? When do you become a cougar? Over 5? Okay. Anything over 5, beware. Ma'am, I'm going to grant you judgment. The only defense today, sir, is that she told you you could extend the loan. And the parole evidence rule, that's the rule that governs contracts in writing. And the theory behind that rule is if you have a contract in writing, it can only be amended in writing. It can't be amended orally. All right, so it wasn't changed in writing, even if what you say is true. But I know you were trying to beat this woman out of her money. You spotted her, she hit on you, even though she's trying to play like she didn't. Ooh, there's a bad boy. All those tattoos at a rock concert. Let's have some fun.
Heck yeah.
This woman laying in the cut all alone. You better get that money. Yeah, just don't you do nothing. Don't touch her. Just get that money. You ain't even got to touch her. All you got to do is sweet talk her a little. And when she comes in for that tattoo, just rub down. Just a little. Get her excited. And then the next day, ask for $5,000. And I bet you'll get it. You put him up to it, didn't you? See? I know the game. I know how it goes. Judgment for the plaintiff. Give her her money back.
Well, I didn't know anything about her, so he didn't disclose that. She didn't know, so that's just wrong.
I wasn't out to scam her. We had a verbal agreement, so I just didn't feel that she was being appropriate, so I stopped paying.
Plaintiff Ariana Ortiz met the defendant while working together, and they had a fling. Ariana claims their relationship never went anywhere because the defendant is extremely jealous, and she's suing him today for stolen jewelry. Defendant Daniel Hall insists Ariana is crazy, and he has no idea what she's talking about.
Start with you.
All right, so we met in February of 2018, me and the defendant, Daniel Hall. We ended up hitting it off, and it turned into a fling for about a month. Afterwards, I had found out that he is a secret crack cocaine addict. He even lied about his mother passing away to get out of work for a day to do Lord knows what. He started acting really jealous and
Tell me some of the things he did that
he
indicated
started,
that he was jealous.
Okay, so my supervisor and me were talking one night, and he's staring at us the whole time, and I'm wondering why.
At the workplace or where?
At the workplace.
He worked there as well?
Yes, he did, and that's where we met at. But me and my supervisor were talking, and all of a sudden, I hear like a little argument, and I'm like, what's going on? Well, he ended up getting fired because he tried to fight my supervisor because we were talking.
That is not true at all.
Yes, it is.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead. And how did it end? He got fired that day?
He got fired that night.
Okay.
I quit.
And that's why you got fired.
You quit that night?
I quit.
That night?
It is on
He got
file
fired.
saying that I quit.
Why'd you quit?
I just didn't want to work there anymore. It was
that very moment that they were
honestly,
talking?
No, it wasn't because of them talking.
I
Me and
know,
him-
but that's the time in which you decided you didn't want to work there anymore.
Me and him had prior problems before this.
I know,
and
but
he
that
had
was the
just-
time in
Yes,
which you quit,
yes,
is when
yes.
that conversation was going
Yes.
on.
Yes.
All right, it didn't have anything to do with the conversation. It's just you remembered. You remembered you intended to quit. So while they're talking or kissing or whatever else, you said, I was gonna quit about something else. This ain't got nothing to do with it. Y'all gonna kiss and whatever, and then baby we'll meet at the house, but that ain't why I'm quitting. Go ahead.
After he had quit, then he had started coming around up to the workplace, which he wasn't allowed up there anymore because of the altercation.
Doing what?
He would sit in the parking lot and talk to my coworkers about me, wait for me to come out of work, follow me home because I was walking. He'd follow me like, you want to ride? No, I don't want to ride. You stole my son's jewelry.
Okay, and that's what we're here for. We'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, so now I started a new job. And
why were you walking home, though? How far were you walking?
I only live about maybe a mile, but I have
a mile? You walked a mile? What city is that?
Detroit, Michigan.
Very safe. Yeah, you're all right. Thought you were going to say some other city. All right. I thought you were going to say New York or something, then you'd be right on here. Detroit, you're safe. 1 mile, no problem. Oh, but, okay. So this came out of 36th District Court. You all had filed this case there?
Yes,
See, folks, that's how we get these cases. We remove it from the local court and bring it to us as arbitrators, and our decisions are final, non-appealable. And you're from the court I sat on as a judge for 5 years, 36th District. Where some of my colleagues still love me and some are jealous. Go ahead.
But Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry to deviate.
He started driving past my house every day, I don't know what he was doing. I'm guessing
He
stalking.
loves you. How long
And
were you all dating?
It was a fling. It was nothing more than a fling.
Well,
I
you
didn't
turned
want
him
anything
out.
else.
Let me hear from you, sir.
I turned him out.
Let me hear from you.
I've got a good friend that lives 2 doors down from her, and that's why I was on her street. It's not
Your
because
Honor,
of
that's
her.
not
He
true.
lived there before her, and he still lives there, and he's going to live there way past her.
All right.
That's the reason I was on
Why
that
did he
block.
drive past his
That's
friend's
enough,
house?
ma'am. Let me hear from you, sir.
Okay.
This whole thing is ridiculous. This whole case is ridiculous. She honestly is just trying to get more money out of what the text message originally said. She originally said it was one necklace and one
I have no
ring.
idea what you're talking about yet, but I was going to let you explain whether you were fired or whether you quit, whether you were following her around. But if you want to jump right into the issue, we can.
I mean,
It's all right. Just jump right into the issue. He doesn't want to even respond
Nope.
to all those allegations of stalking, of jealousy, of
Right.
quitting his job for being jealous. So we'll let it go. All right. So tell me about the stolen jewelry.
Okay, so the day before Easter of 2018, me, the defendant, and my other friend were drinking at my house. Okay, so we were in my bedroom. My friend had told me that she needed to use the bathroom. We had left the room for about 5 minutes. Whenever we came back, Daniel, the defendant, seemed a
gone.
little bit sketchy.
Oh, he was
and he's
still
like,
there.
I gotta go. And so
Yeah.
the next day afterwards, I go to put my son's jewelry on him. And it's nowhere to be found. So I call the defendant, and he gets very, very
Belligerent?
defensive. He's like, I didn't do that. Why would I do that to you? Well, who else would do it? And you're the only one that was left alone in my room. You're the only person that could have did it. So about 10 days after this, I keep asking him, I'm on him, you know? And he's like, oh, I saw it at this U.S. Gold Exchange place. So I'm like, all right.
Who says this?
The defendant. The defendant.
I know it
Daniel
wasn't
Hall.
actually there.
And I call the place, and all I do is I'm like, okay, so it was 3 necklaces, but I explained one, and it was a chain with a gold cross.
You
and a
called the
ring.
exchange or the
Yes.
pawn shop that he told you you saw it at.
Yeah. And so
And what'd they say?
And so I explained one necklace. They're like, hold on, stop there. Who told you that it was here? I said, a friend named Daniel Hall. They're like, hold on. He's the one that
I
sold
don't
it to
believe
us.
you. Now I know you're lying. Ain't nobody that stupid in the world. Nope. Wouldn't send you
He really did.
to the place where
He sent me to the place. And I have text
that
messages.
they can look it up and see that he's the one
Yes, Your Honor.
that brought in the stolen items.
Crackheads do anything, right?
Well, he must have been hiding if you say,
Must
and we
have
don't
been
know whether he's a crackhead or not
And I
because
have-
he didn't want to address it. Go ahead.
I have text messages proving that he does cocaine. I have text messages proving that he stole my stuff. I have text messages.
Let me let
proving
him
that he
address
was
it
gonna
first. Sir,
pay
what do you
me.
want to tell me about the jewelry? Nothing?
She's crazy.
Okay, she's crazy. That's all he wanted
I'm
to
a
say.
Latina,
Let's see
huh?
what you have.
Okay. Great.
Keep some of this crazy money if you got anything that in it to me. What would please me was if you wouldn't have stole from me, this is you, from the jump. Then you say you have money for me, but you drive right past me. And I explained, this is him, I explained to you, I'm sorry everything happened the way it did. I will pay you. And I don't deserve you. And be happy. I just want to get my son. Oh, that's you. I just want to get my son his jewelry back. That's all. Man,
all I
I'd say you
want.
better bring my jewelry back, because we're gonna have a problem. You know,
I was trying to be nice.
That didn't work, did it?
No, it didn't. That's
Thank
why we're
you.
here
That's
today, Your Honor.
You did right,
That's
though.
why
you
we're
brought him here.
Yep.
We don't want anybody to think that Detroit engages in violence,
No,
and
we
that
don't.
is the prime example. I'm laughing at. This is a prime example. She walks 1 mile to work at night. Yes, sometimes.
Yeah.
And how long? How many years? For years and years.
Yes, whenever I
There
need
you
to.
go.
I
For
gotta feed
years
my
and
son.
years, she's been walking at night, 1 mile in Detroit, and nothing has ever happened to you, has it?
No.
Thank you. Judgment for the plaintiff, for that alone. No, sir, she's proven her case. You wouldn't even respond. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I never want to see your face again.
Thank you.
Judgment was proven, and, well, we all know you steal, so. You saw that, America.
Whatever.
Plaintiff James Miller says 25 years ago he was married to the defendant's sister, but she left him for another man and was later murdered by a jealous husband. James claims he and the defendant eventually got engaged, but she called it off, so he's suing for the engagement ring. Defendant Kimberly Brooks says her sister left James after he knocked her teeth in, and she claims James also abused her. And she has the police reports to prove it. Kimberly insists she and James were never engaged, and she's countersuing him for the cost of a trampoline.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, Miss Brooks is my ex-fiance.
Is that right?
No, sir. No, Your Honor. No.
She said she
No.
never met you. He's delusional?
He's delusional, yes.
So she said she doesn't know you.
She knows me.
Go ahead, tell me what you want me to.
Well-
Convince me that you know her.
Crazy thing, Your Honor. Actually, 25 years ago or so, I was actually married to her sister.
Oh, well, that's why she playing like she don't know you. I don't blame her.
A couple years of marriage, couple of kids. She decided it wasn't what she wanted, left me and the kids, and left for another man. And tragically, a few years later, she was killed by a jealous husband.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Sorry to hear that.
So we jump
Did
ahead.
not leave him for another man.
Oh.
No, she did not. He's done her dirty. He's knocked her teeth out. He's done a lot of things to her. And
He
I thought
knocked your sister's,
my
your
sister's
deceased
teeth out.
sister's
She left him and he knocked her teeth out. He's threatened her to get my nephew with him. And he's done a lot of horrible things to her. And that's why she left him. And she ended up getting married twice. And the man that she married the last time did shoot her and shot himself. And he is lying to you. He's the one that did her the same way he's doing me.
He's assaulted you?
Pardon? Yes, he has assaulted me.
You?
Yes, he has, and I've got.
Not true, Your Honor.
Police report?
Yes, I have police reports, and I have.
Let's see him, please, Doc. Now, you're suing about an engagement ring, but this is a police report against you for threats that she alleges you made. On the date and time, Ms. Kimberly Brooks reports that her ex-boyfriend called her several times making threatening statements such as, "I'm going to bust your face. You bring your new boyfriend here and I'll bust his face." Mrs. Brooks fears for her safety. Did they follow up with him? Did they speak to him about it?
Yes, they have.
Sir?
It's the first I ever heard of that.
All right. You all, this is the first time for a lot of stuff for you all today. First time you've met him, then this is the first time you've heard of this report. You have another one?
Yes, I do, sir.
But the case is about the engagement, so I'm going to allow you to give me some background on your relationship. Okay, I hear now that you have done what many people in the old days, that's happened a lot. I think that happened with my grandfather. I never met him, he was early on. So he was married and had 7 children by his first wife. And when she died, he married her sister. And I've heard that was commonplace in those days. And just as a kind of, okay, I'll help you with the children, so I'll marry you. I see some folks, some mature folks shaking their head. Am I right or wrong? All right, I hear you all grinning about my grandfather. Y'all playing the dozens now. Y'all playing the dozens. Y'all laughing about the wrong stuff. So don't talk about my mama. And that extends to my grandmama and her mama, who I never knew, but just a fact. But no, so it was a tradition, and I don't know whether is that the tradition you were following?
No, Your Honor. There was some 25 years later or so, we met at a Valentine's Day party and got to talking.
He was on cocaine too at the time and had me on it the first year that we got together. The first time we got together, he had me on it.
That's not true, Your Honor.
He always told me if I opened my mouth, that he would knock it out of my mouth
That's
if I brought
not
his name in my
true, Your
mouth.
Honor.
All right.
If all this is going on, why were we together like 8 years? If I'm abusive and...
Because me and my grandson needed a place to live, and he knew I didn't have the money to get anywhere where he would tell me to go ahead and spend my money on what I wanted to, but feed
You
his
actually moved out a
32-year-old
few
man.
times, and I actually gave you the money and helped you. And then you still came back. If
Right.
you're such a bad guy.
Okay.
She wanted that pure blow he was setting out, doctor.
Might have been something else.
He said that stuff on the other side of town ain't no good. Go ahead, sir. Ma'am, you're the one said you were on it with him. Don't get mad at me.
I'm not getting mad at you,
Man,
Your
then
Honor.
shove it up your nose.
I'm not getting mad at
Like
you, Your
he
Honor.
got you on it. He exposed you to it.
He kept dragging me in.
It didn't make you put that up your nose, ma'am.
No, he did not make that. I thought you said something else. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No,
I
you
know he
said
did.
you were
I
on
did
cocaine.
that, and I
He
did
had
not like
you
it.
on cocaine. That's what you said.
Well, I didn't mean to say it that way.
You got plenty of
I'm
women
saying
whose
when I was-
husbands are alcoholics and dope heads, and the women don't do anything. In fact,
Right.
they fuss at them all the time
Right.
about being a dope head and an alcoholic.
Right.
So just because the husband is a dope head and or an alcoholic doesn't mean that you have to be. Let's talk about this engagement ring.
Well, Your Honor, I tried my hardest. I couldn't make this woman happy for nothing.
When did you all become engaged?
January the 23rd, 2013.
All right. Tell me how it went down, because I think she said you've never been engaged, right?
Never.
All right. Go ahead. You tell me how that went down.
Never.
We decided to get back together, and she would say, put a ring on it or you're going to lose it. Thanks, Beyonce.
That's Beyonce. You say, thanks, Beyonce.
So, you know, I wanted to make her happy, do the right thing, you know. So I bought her an engagement ring.
What
Went
did
to
you
her
say?
house.
At some point you have to say, will you marry me? Or
Yeah.
when you handed it to her, you said, this is for marriage?
January the
and-
23rd, 2013, I went to her house on a cold January day, got her in the truck, proposed to her. She accepted the ring, and didn't do any good. She still left me anyway.
How long after?
July the 4th.
So, okay, you lasted a good 7 months?
Yeah, I hung in there as long as I could, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am.
He's lying to you, Your Honor.
She
About
took all
what?
this-
You all were never
That he
engaged?
asked me to be engaged to him or whatever. He come by my mother's house. I had left him. I moved in my mother. She came from Vegas to get me away from him. When I went to her house, he called me up. He asked me, he says, Kim, would you want to go with me to the pawn shop to look around to get out of the house for a while? I said, why? And he says, just get out of the house for a while. So I said, yes. So we went to the pawn shop. And we started looking around, you know, I guess something for his grandkid or whatever. And I was joking with him. I said, you gonna buy me a ring? And he looked at me and he said, are you serious? I said, yeah, you know, just buy me a ring. And he says, well, pick one out. He got the ring. He put it on layaway. About a month later, he comes by my mother's house. He pulls up in the front, calls me out to the truck. I go out to the truck. He sits there and he tells me, he says, I got something to say to you, but I don't want you to flip out on me. Well, I got teary-eyed because I thought he was going to say that he's been cheating still. So he never did reply, you know. So he got the ring out of the glove box, in the box. He handed it to me. I put it on my own finger. I told him thank you. He gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he drove off.
What did you think he meant when he didn't tell you he was cheating? You knew he had something else important to tell you. What did you conclude it might have
Because
been?
I knew that he wanted to confess to me that he had just been cheating with
Okay, but when he
prostitutes.
didn't do that, did you think of an alternate reason?
He didn't want to bring it out to me because he knew I was already hurt.
So you
because I
think
was
he
teary-eyed.
changed his mind from the time he called you out to the truck to the time you got in the truck?
Right.
He changed his mind about telling you that he was cheating.
Right.
So instead of saying, come on, honey, let me tell you, I've been cheating. Instead of that, he said, come on, honey, let me kiss you and give you a ring.
No.
That's a big difference.
No, he did not do
He
that.
changed his mind dramatically. You said he kissed you.
Yeah, he kissed me on the cheek and drove off. He didn't ask me to marry him.
He gave you a ring, though.
Yes, but it was
That's
a
what
gift.
I'm saying.
It was a gift.
Because your story doesn't make sense. If you think a man is calling you out there to tell you that he is cheating on you when he says, I have something important to tell you, and instead he gives you a kiss and gives you a ring, that's a drastic difference. You say it never dawned on you that there were any other reasons for him calling you out there.
Exactly. I didn't even know the ring was out
What
there.
type of ring was it?
This one here. It was
Oh,
a
okay.
gift.
Let's see it, please. So I can tell whether it's an engagement ring.
If he wants it back, he could have it back as long as he stays out of my life.
She sure don't have it on the wedding finger, that's for sure.
Well, it
Never
changes,
was.
Your Honor, from day to day.
Is this
Go
an
on this finger,
engagement
that
ring?
finger.
I think it is. It's an engagement ring. Pretty nice
Because
one, too.
I picked it out.
Pretty nice one. You got a couple dollars, don't you?
Couple.
And you don't have nobody now, do you?
No.
You can be a popular man leaving here. You don't mind giving it back to him then?
I don't want to give it back to him.
Oh, okay. There you go. If you don't want to give it back, you just pay him. Now, your
I have to pay him?
trampoline.
Well, give it back to
what
him.
are you suing from?
I've not got the money to pay it back to him. I'm just telling you, it was not an engagement ring.
Okay, and I believe it was. Now, your counterclaim for $400 for a trampoline is for what? How does he owe you for that?
Because I bought it for my grandson, and his grandkids were there, and he had me babysitting his grandkids while they were in school because their mother was getting her things together. His youngest grandson went and poked holes all over it, like 3 or 4 holes in it. He messed it up. So I asked him, are you gonna pay me for that trampoline? He says, you don't know who did it, so I'm not paying for nothing. I said, yes, because I seen him go back there to go poke the holes in it, and I told him he better not do it. So,
Sir?
Not true, Your Honor.
it is true.
All kinds of kids were playing on that trampoline. It's under a tree.
I
There's
watched
limbs
it.
laying on it, all around it.
Did she mention it
And
to
there
you?
was no other kids there.
Yes, she did. And I went back there and looked. There's no way to prove. They told me they don't know who did
Did you
it.
speak to the
The
child?
little boy.
Yes.
And what did he say?
Said he didn't do it.
All right.
There's no telling
And there
who
were
done it.
several kids back there.
No, there
and we
wasn't.
know that you all have animosity. And since you want to hang on to that ring so much, you go ahead and hang on to it. $898 is your judgment for that ring that she just must have. And clearly it's
No,
an
I
engagement
don't want this ring.
And I know, but you're going to pay for it.
I have not
You
got
can
the
do
money.
whatever you want with it. Just
I have
pay
not
for
got
it.
the money.
And your
Okay, I'll sell it.
counterclaim, ma'am,
Okay,
for the
I got it.
trampoline is dismissed.
All
you
right.
have a good day.
Thank
you haven't been
you.
able to
I'll pay
prove
it forward.
that he is associated with that. Bye-bye.
You know what? I'm happy the way this went because I will give him the whatever $899 back because it's worth more than the $899.
She don't deserve the ring.
So, well, you don't
The day
deserve
after
my.
she
You don't
left me,
deserve
she
my
got
trampoline. You know
engaged.
what? You're a piece of because you know what?
Right.
I know what you're about. Nobody else knows what you're about.
Right. We all know what you're about.
You're a piece of
Got engaged the next day after you left me?
You're a piece of
Yeah.
You go to strip
Whatever.
joints. You sit there and do other women. You take strippers to your house. I didn't say all that.
That's a lie. There was only one time, and I
You know
bought
what?
her a ring.
I'm happy the way everything went. I'm very happy. He's done nothing but destroy
I am
my
too,
family
but I want the ring back.
and me.